Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm back with something a little different, still action figures, but as you guys can see, this is some Dragonball Z. This is S.H.Figuarts' son Goku, and he's titled as A Saiyan Race on Earth. This is my first anything in my collection from Dragon Ball, or Dragon Ball Z in this case. So definitely looking forward to it. I got this from Big Bad Toy Store for $34.99 US. That's where I'm at. Didn't seem too bad, but we'll see how the quality is of this figure. Again, really nice packaging. If you guys have seen my videos, I unfortunately do not keep my boxes, so this will be going in the trash once I'm done with it, but it is some really nice packaging. You got the figure there on the side, and then right here on the back, of course, the product itself with all the different poses that he can do, and it looks like he's got a different face and everything. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one and giving you guys a look here. Let's go ahead and get started here with Goku, starting with the accessories. So you guys can see there you get three different faces that you can swap out. Starting here with this one here, looks a bit more I guess angry, struggling type of look. Definitely that animated look, cartoon like, so pretty cool. And these have two slots here that you can use to attach to the head. Then there's this other one where he's a bit more I guess serious or more neutral type of look for this guy. Again, I think the details that are included there are pretty well done. And then the last one here is one of my favorite ones, is one where he's like screaming, right, powering up, punching someone. Again, I think this definitely looks pretty cool. There is also the one additional head sculpt that comes with the figure, so I'll show you that one in a second. You also do get hands, so you get about 3 sets of hands. So you've got these right here that are kind of like reaching out or like spread out. You've got these two with the 2 fingers here. And you get 2 sets of fists. I have one of them on the figure that are closed off. Obviously, this guy doesn't hold any accessories. And then you get 2 sets of right hands. You get this one that, I guess you get the 2 finger pose. I think he normally uses this when he's about to teleport or something. And then onto the figure, because again, that's where the extra hands and accessories are at. So if you guys could see here, on his right hand, he's got this sort of like stretched out, almost like he's waving type of hand. And then you've got the other fist here. And this is a deal where you kind of just push them out. There's like a ball joint there that you can use to sort of pull them out and replace them. So no biggie. That's pretty much it for the accessories. So we can probably move on to the figure itself, which again looks pretty cool. So starting off here with Goku. First impressions are pretty good. Again, this looks pretty much just like what was in the cartoon. Again, I'm by no means a Dragon Ball Z expert. I know I said I liked the previous head sculpt that I showed you where he's kind of yelling. This one's pretty cool. This is definitely Goku to a T with that, sort of dumb, goofy look in his face, which looks great. And starting off at the top here, you've got this nice black hair here that's nice and spiky, made out of this hard plastic, which I appreciate. It's not soft or anything, which is pretty cool. And as I mentioned, you get different face options. So with these figures, it appears you can pull out the front section here of the hair that's held on by these 2 pins. Take that aside, and it leaves you like that. And then you can pull out this face here if you want to, and then you can replace it, right? So you see you got the slots there, and you can replace that with any faces that he comes with. You'll see there now he's yelling, and then once you replace the face, you can just start replacing the hair. Now have it in, and now you've got your Goku sort of in that yelling sort of type of look, which again looks really cool. The skin texture I think is done really well. It's plain, but again, it's very pretty much what was in the cartoon. And then moving on down, you've got, of course, his gi or his uniform there in the orange with the symbol here. You've got the blue undershirt, which again, it's all done really well. These sections here are kind of separate from the rest of the upper section. And then again, that's to aid in the articulation part of it. And then moving on down, you've got this nice belt here that's tied, and this whole thing kind of moves around. So again, pretty cool. You've got pretty much the whole orange theme going on down. In person, you do have slightly darker areas for the orange. Again, I'm assuming that was done to give it some texture and shading, which again is done pretty well. And then moving on down, you've got these pretty cool blue and yellow boots with the red, I guess, knots there on the left and the right. So pretty cool. Yeah, and then of course you got the back, same thing. You've got folds and you know, additional ripples and things that they've added to give it you know, some sculpt and some substance there. So pretty cool. Going on to the back, definitely love this whole section with the design here in the back. I think it's done pretty well. Then you've got the same thing where you got the sculpting. So overall done pretty well here. I think you've got the back of the hair, which is pretty cool. Articulation wise, you know, you get sufficient to put this guy into some really nice poses. Again, your head can pretty much go all the way around. He can probably look up probably about that much from the head and then look down pretty well. And then the neck here also has a bit of a joint here separate from the head that you can use for additional articulation. The arms here, starting with the shoulders, as I mentioned, these sections of the shirt are separate, so they move independently from the rest of the body. So when you want to move this arm, you can move them around to allow you more articulation there. And you've got a joint there on the shoulder. You got a bicep, so if you need to move that separately, you can. You've got your elbow, which is about probably a little more than 90, which is I think more than enough. And you've got your hand here, sorry, at the wrist. You've got a wrist peg, so you can move this in and out and you can rotate it. Moving on here to the torso section, you've got a additional joint here towards the upper part and then another one at the waist. So it is kind of separate to allow additional movement. So probably look up about that much and then look down about that much. But then, as I said, the waist piece is slightly separate, so you can move that slightly around. Looks like my copy, at least, that's probably as far as I would feel comfortable going. Kind of feels like I'm going to break something. I mentioned this little belt here is articulated, so again, you can move this around as you wish. The legs, when you start getting down here, there are you know, you can kick back that much, kick back that much. Then you've got some very nice way more than 90 knee articulation there, so he can fold the knee all the way back for that nice kick. He can almost kick himself in the back, and then when you kick forward, that's probably about you'll get with the knee, which again seems pretty natural. And then the next set of articulation is down here in the feet, so you know, you can move this joint fully around. They also slide like forward and back slightly. So, you know, just be really careful with this, but it looks like you can move them around and then you can move them up, down, and then you've got your toe articulation here. And you cannot also slightly move these forward. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but you can move them forward and back at times. So there you go. So that's something you can mess around with to aid in the articulation part. But overall, you know what, I think for 35 bucks, this is a pretty cool little figure there. Again, I think the uniform is done really well. I think you don't get a lot of accessories, but I think what's there, again, for the $34.99 that this costs, it's really nice. All right, so overall, pretty happy with the figure. 35 bucks, you do get a couple of hands and 3 different sets of faces, or 4 if you include the one that comes with the figure. Would have liked if perhaps they included a stand with the figure. He does have some really cool articulation that I think including the stand in the package would have just bring in more value to it. You know, again, these being so have a lot of articulation possible, right? So I think you can get these guys in some really nice poses that the stand would have helped with the overall package. But what you get here, again, for me, I don't know much about Dragon Ball Z figures. This is my first one, and to me, it looks pretty good. You know, the articulation's there, the colors are there. I had no issues with any loose joints, thankfully, and he can hit some really nice poses there. So overall, pretty happy So let's go ahead and get started with the comparisons here. I don't have any other Dragon Ball Z figures at the moment, at least opened. So we'll start off with just the random figures I have here. This is the Tamashii Nations Metal Build Mazinger Z. I've had this for a while. Again, nowhere near the same. I think Mazinger is supposed to be this huge giant robots, but again, maybe you want to build a collection of all these different figures. So there you go for comparisons there with the S.H.Figuarts Goku. So we'll move Mazinger Z out of the way. Here's a Figma. This is the Metroid Prime 3 Samus Aran. So again, there you go. Size comparison. We'll move her out. And again, these have nothing to do with each other. I just have all these random figures here, so I figure why not? Here is a Super 7 Ultimates Leonardo. Similar size, I would say. I don't know why you want to mix them, but there you go. That's a Super 7 TMNT figure. And here's another one. Here is Slash. This is one of the bad guys from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Again, Super 7 Ultimates. Very similar in size. Of course, Slash here is humongous. We'll move him out. I had a Mega Man here. This is the True Force Mega Man figure. I've had in my collection for quite a while now. Then we'll go ahead and move him out. And then I do have another Mega Man. I believe this is also a Bandai Tamashii Nations Chogokin Mega Man. It's die cast. I've had this one for a while. It's a pretty cool figure. Pretty similar in size. I don't know if I mentioned, I did measure Goku. He's about 6 inches from, you know, his toes all the way up to the very top section there of the hair. If you go up to the head, it's probably about 5.5 inches. So we'll move Mega Man out. Let's bring in Kung Lao. Again, these are just some random assortments of figures that I have there. This is from Storm Collectibles. There, Kung Lao from the Mortal Kombat license. And I had another guy here. This is also a Storm Collectibles. This is Ryo Sakazaki from their King of Fighters line. Again, nothing to do with each other, other than they have very similar looking geese. So there you go. We'll move him out. And then more random stuff. I don't know, maybe you're into Transformers and want to display Goku next to Starscream for whatever reason. Now you know what they both look like together next to each other. So there you go. This is the Earthrise Starscream. And of course, continuing on the Transformers tip here. This is the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. Hey, maybe you want to have your shelf full of heroes. There you go. You have your Optimus and your Goku standing there together, so you can see what they look like. And then lastly, had a little Bumblebee here, again from the same series, Studio Series 86. But there you go. That is all the figures I currently have on all right, guys, so I think I'm done here. This is pretty much the end. Again, pretty happy here with S.H.Figuarts Goku. Again, this is my first Dragon Ball figure. Thankfully, no issues. Articulation's great, paint's great, looks pretty cool. You get all these different faces and different hands, which is nice. Of course, extra things that I think could have been included: a stand to display the figure, and maybe a fireball effect. But again, for $35, I think it's a cool little figure. Again, as I mentioned, he's about 6 inches, 5.5, 6 inches in length. So overall, pretty happy with it. And I'm very excited, again, to get my Dragon Ball collection up and going. But anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your time very much. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video. Take care.